this thing's mangled and this thing's mangled. What up, YouTube? Big day for me today. Big day. So a bunch of packages came in. Let's get down to it and see what we got. Alright, this came the other day. I already know what this is, but y'all don't. So, bike batteries. Did you say batteries? Yes, there's two. Two bike batteries. Wonder what that's about. That's exciting. Alright, let's see what this is. This is all packed very well, I want to say. Looks to me like we've got some brakes. This. Ooh, a display. And this here. Another URT display. These brakes, yo. These brakes are sick. Look at that action. And 4 piston. Check out this other box. Like a kid on Christmas. What is this? It's heavy. Ooh. New motor. Let's check the spec. 48 volt, 30 amp controller, 1,000 watts. So you know where this goes? On the Rockstar rescue bike. So that was the big surprise. Upgraded motor to the URT, 30 amp controller versus 25. 1,000 watts versus 750. So that's why I have the new controller. And this is the kit that they send out when you buy this motor. So we won't be using everything, but we will have a better Rockstar rescue bike when we put that together. So the rescue bike is underway. The rear wheel with the hub has been built and is on the bike. I've got parts coming today, according to Amazon, for that bike. As soon as this weekend, I can take these down to San Diego Electric Bike and get that project going. Plan to film it. That'll be the last episode in Rockstar Rescue. The bike will be rescued, and then from there we're going to do head-to-head this URT motor versus the CAN bus motor, and the Fox fork, the hub. Do head-to-head, which Sondor's Rockstar's better. And then I need to renege on something, so I said I was going to build the best. Well, that's subject to your perception. So I can get into an argument, oh, you should put Fox 40s, oh, you should put Fox 38s, you should have put Rock Shocks. So I'm not going to call it the best anymore. It's a better bike, and I'm building a better bike than stock. But I can't see forking over 75 bucks for an aluminum headset when I can get it for 25. I mean, what? For the name brand, it's stronger, lighter. This bike will always be 80 plus pounds. I'm just not going down that road. And I've already like got into it about what constitutes the best Sondor's Rockstar. And the Rockstar Rescue will be a very good example of one, but I'm not going for the best anymore, just because it's too much of an argument, like what the best parts are, and I'm just not dumping money into it, you know. So it will be badass in this box. Second or third, I already opened this too, but here, look at that CAN bus display that's supposed to work on the Rockstar. Anyway, this is CAN protocol. See the triangular green connection, but all right. What do you think's in that last box? So, there it is. Now, what could this be? Looks like a rear swing arm to a bicycle. Could this be Matt Haley's new bike? It is. It's my new bike. So a few months ago, I sat here in this garage and I said, the future of this show is not going to be the Sondor's Rockstar forever. So I was moving on to Frey. And I couldn't get a deal with Frey. The only way I could get a deal with Frey is if I bought 5 bikes, okay? And I'm just not having that. I'm a value guy. Yeah, I just want to jump in here. So I tried with Grace to get a demo bike for the purpose of comparing it to the Sondor's Rockstar. I even got my sponsor, San Diego Electric Bike, to reach out. They were interested in becoming a dealer and wanted to start with 1 bike, but they wouldn't do it. We had to buy 5 bikes in order to get any sort of professional discount, and we had to walk away. So this frame kit is from stealthebike.com, and it's called the Trailblazer 2.0. It's a dual battery bike at 52 volts and combined 28 amp hours. So compared to the Rockstar, it's a 48 volt battery with a 21 amp hour battery. And it's, as you know, the single. So we're going to get a little more power, an unrestricted 1600 watt peak Bafang Ultra M620 motor. Comes with all the accessories, nut, bolt, crank arms, the display. It comes with a front head spacer kit. You get the rear axle, that's 148 millimeters, a rear derailleur hanger, and the frame can hold 27.5 up to 3-inch rear tires and up to 2.5 in the front. I'm going to fit the 3 since the 3 fits my fork already. So I went with the frame kit because I feel like if you buy a complete bike, you need to upgrade the thing anyway. And why not just buy the components you want and put them on yourself versus being stuck and paying for the components that come with a bike. So here you can see I held the Rockstar against the Trailblazer just to compare the size. The Trailblazer looks a little bit smaller by a couple centimeters, but I feel that's going to be okay on the trails. Sometimes the Rockstar feels big to where you can't like throw the bike around. Not that you could throw this heavy ass bike around. I'm just saying the smaller package could equate to better handling. So there's the specs, and we'll do the comparison after we build the yellow bike. What up, you filthy animals? So I got the motor for the rescue bike this week.
Worked all week, making ends meet, earning my blue collar.
So this is it in the box. It's a 48 volt non-CAN bus. So this is a URT motor. And I think we all learned about the grease situation. So before this goes in, I'm going to make sure it's greased up. All right. As well, we're all curious to know, brand new, what they look like. How much grease comes in them brand new. So I'm going to pop this open. Alright, set this aside. So this is a good opportunity to talk about something nobody else is talking about when opening these motors. You see these index pins? There's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. These index pins come out this easy. So if you're not careful, or the mechanic or the first time guy working on these things, these pins will drop out, fall into the motor, and eat your motor and eat the gears. So you want to be very careful to monitor the status of these 3 pins. All right. So I learned that from California Electric Bike, and they're the expert on this, not me. But when I showed him pictures of my the motor that I did the video on, he's like, "Hey man, you better count them pins." So I did, and there was one missing. I don't know if that's what caused all the commotion with this other motor. But that's something nobody's saying on the internet when taking these apart. Watch these pins, because if they fall out and go in these gears, you're done. Alright, so brand new motor, first time opened, and let's look at the grease level. So not terrible for you know, someone working at the factory. It's not a bad job. But this is our motor, this is my motor, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little of this bearing grease in there. I'm not using cornhead grease on purpose out of spite.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
I'm gonna use this and just make sure this is all greased up. I wanted to show the viewers what a brand new motor looks like, and you know, the sort of lack of grease in some areas. So I think whenever you get a new motor and the chance, before it goes in, I'm gonna put some extra grease in there. All right, so I don't think we need to continue. Watch these pins, and I'm gonna put more of this non-cornhead grease in here.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
Just out of spite. So I know this looks like a lot of grease, looks like probably too much, but I really did butter it up. And look at all the grease right there. I did wipe that up real nice to keep it out of the controller, so save it. Yeah, so there it is, all buttoned up, and for the short amount of time it took to pull that apart, pop those gears out, and slap some grease on there, worth every moment of your time. I'm lucky that this is already out of the bike, going into the rescue bike. So last update is, what was I gonna do with that old motor? It's done, man. Like, I could probably buy this and then find out the controller also needs to be fixed, and then get that other gear and find out that something else is wrong. So I'm not gonna chase it. What I have is a box full of spare parts. Like, I got an extra gasket, I got an extra wire. If that controller assembly is good, then I've got a controller. Or if I put a big ding in this case, I've got a new case. So that's what I'm doing with the bad motor. I'm going to be using it for spare parts. So I've got 3 bikes with this motor, not the same spec, but physical, you know, like 350 small block, but different bores and whatever. That's not a good analogy. I got 3 bikes that run a G10 620 Bafang motor, so I've got spare parts for them. That's what I'm doing with it. I'm not going to pay to have that fixed or try to fix it myself. They're now spare parts. So let's catch up on some more projects.
So I think the first thing we should do, just trim this steer tube with your...
Yeah, so here we are, the final day at San Diego Electric Bike, and Ray had the rear wheel laced up with a Hope hub, and he had to order special spokes for it because the whole size of the Sondor's spoke didn't cross over to the whole size of the Hope hub. So the bonus is for me because I got some high quality spokes. I think they're DT Swiss, but anyway, that hub was installed, the wheel was laced, and we were ready to go. So I was trying to help Ray as much as I could without getting in the way, and hopefully I did help him, and hopefully I wasn't too irritating. I can be a big dork and say really corny things constantly, and I didn't get thrown out or socked in the face. So I think all in all it was a success. So anyway, you know, I didn't want to play the audio because I am such a dork, and I asked dumb questions, and then a couple times Ray was like, "Hey, I told you, get the fuck away from my bench," and then I'd sneak off and you know, run around the corner with my tails between my legs, and then you know, it was kind of embarrassing because Ray's assistant was there, and you know, but what you another reason I didn't want to play the audio, I had some really bad Mexican food the night before we shot this, and I have a bad sense of smell. And what had happened was I accidentally shit my pants while I was driving down to San Diego Electric Bike. And so I'm standing here with shit in my pants, and it smells. And, you know, Ray and his assistant were really kind about it. but you know, they had to turn on fans, and they kept asking me to step back, and I thought it was just that they didn't want to be disturbed. And then come to find out, when I get home, I drop trowel, and there my underwear looks like a BMX racetrack. So I was really embarrassed, and now that I played the video back, and some of the comments and jokes and swipes at me, because I had shit in my pants, now it all makes sense. And I am way too embarrassed to let that play on my YouTube channel. But anyway, I think the hardest part of this job was guiding the wire harnesses and brake hoses and everything else through the frame. And that's, you know, you see Ray, he's over it, man. It's very difficult. And, you know, not having all the parts, we just kind of, right after this, we just kind of put it back together, and I went home on my merry way. But we did get about, you know, 90% of it done. So real proud of Ray, very disappointed in myself. So what's up, YouTube? I got the bike back, and everything is in order. There's a couple things. I don't believe anyone has spoken about this yet, so another world's first. So this is my UART motor. This is the one I just greased up, and you can see these wires are different than the CAN protocol wires. So that's why I got new brakes, to make sure they work. And what I failed to realize is two parts. Number one, the battery communication wire looks like this, and there's no compatible fitting or wire connector on the UART motor. So I got to figure that out. I think I'm just going to splice this directly on there once I figure out what I'm doing. So that's hold up number one. Hold up number two is the gear sensor. So this is something we don't talk about much, is the gear sensor and its location. So it's in a bitchin' location, real hard to get to. So I don't know why they put it in there, that right there in that spot. But I'm no manufacturing guru. I'm just a guy trying to rescue this bike. So we'll show you where it's located. So down in here, and so look, this is cheating. I've already taken it apart, but it was not easy. But they stuff it in down in here, and then they pick up the gear. See that bald spot right here, and the naked spot, and the transmission or the shifter cable. That's where they put the gear sensor. So the gear sensor has this connection on it, and there's nothing that will connect on here. The speed sensor will, but that's not the right thing. So I've got this on order. I've got this on order for, this is the Sondor's CAN protocol gear sensor, and I've got one coming for this motor URT. So those are the last two parts of this, and then I can put the bike together. I'm calling the project done because, like I said, I'm not the Sondor's repair guy. This was to chronicle a professional bike mechanic putting it together, and Ray was great. He did everything we needed, but we couldn't complete it if we didn't have the right gear sensor or the battery communication connector. So we'll figure all that out. So last thing I want to show is, if you notice, in the Rockstar Rescue #1, old Ray was like smacking the shit out of those bolts that fit that on. And I've heard people say, oh, it's because there's too much paint on them. And my comment was, well, how'd they get them in there with too much paint on them? So it's still a mystery to me, except this part. So you go to fit this, and I know the wires don't go that way, just demonstrating. You go to fit this, then you look at the holes, and they're slightly off. And so even installing these bolts back in there, you know, there's 3 of these, they like bind up, and so knowing the wires are wrong and there's a potential that I'm gonna have to put this together, maybe take it apart, change something, and put it back together again, it didn't feel right, like smashing the shit out of these bolts here. What I've done is I'd get it in, and then I'd wiggle it. I'd wiggle it till it made a mark on the frame or on the motor. Then I took my Dremel and then sanded out where it was making the marks. And I have to say, it fits a lot better. So I still got to pound them in, but not like beat the living shit out of them. So you saw, I've seen people, they really have to bang on them to get them out. And I don't know if it's after the paint or during welding this changes, but it's not a great fit. There's gonna come a day, and well, I think I know which way I'm leaning, but I got to part with one of these bikes, right? I'm gonna give one of them away, and I'm probably gonna keep the yellow one, but it feels bad because I'm so attached to that black one. The black one, you know, let's face it, that black one got me off the couch. When my brother passed, I was a mess. You wonder about the long hair and all that. You're seeing a guy who was broken, sitting on his couch during the pandemic. Work wasn't normal. I was working from home. I was gaining lots of weight, probably drinking a little too much, probably smoking a little too much, but that bike, this bike here, that bike's probably saved my life. All right, when my brother died, I lost my best friend. I watched my parents suffer tremendously. His death was unexpected, and we were all in shock. And I sat on that damn couch in a pity party, and that's what I needed to do. Losing him was the worst thing I've ever experienced, and then the worst thing my family's ever experienced. So here's the completed hub and wheel. So this is the Hope hub, and we got an XD cassette on there, and these are I forget the name brand of these spokes. They're good though. Swiss or DT Swiss, something like that. But anyway, this hub should be pretty, or this rear rim should be bulletproof. And so with that being fixed, a new motor, and then we've upgraded the fork I'm not sure what rear shock I'm gonna go. Kind of thinking I'm gonna spend some money on that one, just because I've never sort of treated myself to a name brand shock, but it's got to be at least like 750 pounds, because I'm a big guy and I haven't been riding much. The COVID, it's not that I've been sick, it's just it kind of ruined my lung function. So I want to be clear on my new bike frame. So that bike came from stealthebike.com. The Trailblazer 2.0. So it's got 2 batteries, it's 52 volt. The motor is the UART unrestricted motor, 30 amp controller, 52 volts, and I believe 1500 watts. All came from stealthebike.com. The owner there is Nasir, and he's been very informative and communicative and helpful in accomplishing the rescue bike, and then my desire to test another bike against the Sondors Rockstar. So what we're doing with the Sondors Rockstar is we're going to take off the components from this bike and fit them on the Trailblazer 2.0 frame, and then do a comparison of the 2 bikes. To preview what's coming next, we're going to finish this bike. I'm going to have the yellow Rockstar versus the black Rockstar. A few things are different about this bike. This is a UART motor, and the Sondors is stock CAN bus, so this should be a little more powerful. Got a different brand fork. Again, I don't know what to do about this shock yet, but we'll figure it out. It's gonna try and keep, this thing isn't gonna be crazily more modified than that, than the black one. So the idea is to sort of test the black versus yellow for a couple of videos, and believe me, I don't like doing these videos of me in my garage. I know that I might be informative, and I hope they do help someone out, but that's not what I do. That's not what I wanted to do on YouTube. I wanted to strap a camera to my head and go down some crazy hills, and I can't wait to get back there. So it's coming. Thanks for your patience on that. COVID really set me back. It's delayed me probably 2 months between being stuck in Brazil, not being able to come back in the country, and then the recovery, and then catching up on my life, and then I just was in Miami for another trade show. It's getting real busy, and more riding coming up, black versus yellow. Then we're taking black apart, putting it on the new frame. It's going to be new frame, Trailblazer 2.0 versus yellow Rockstar. And so there'll be a bunch of riding videos about that. And then once all that's compared, we're going to donate the bike to a veteran cause. And so any suggestions on how to do that, I have no idea how to do nonprofit stuff, but I'd like to do it. You're welcome to hit me up and say, hey, I'd like to test drive a Rockstar. So I'll have 2. I've already got like 4 buddies of mine who are taking me up on the offer. I put that out that I would like to let people try this bike, and while I have 2, it would be kind of cool that 2 people on the same exact equipment, and to sort of compare and contrast what you like and don't like about it. So if anyone's interested in riding one of these Rockstars in the Orange County area, hit me up and we'll make it happen. So that should conclude the Rockstar rescue. I know it's not running. You'll see it running, okay? But the rear hub is fixed. We've got a new motor. It's just a matter of plugging it all in. The bike is fixed. So this concludes the Rockstar Rescue series. And this particular episode, it's been a extravaganza. This should have been 3 or 4 episodes, but I like to make long videos. So about this display, I didn't give it a good review at first, but it's actually working out pretty good.
Are you doing one of your stupid YouTube videos again?
No?
Whatever.
Alright, so last part is the shout outs. My first shout out goes to Life After Kids. I met them at an industry that I'm involved, a great couple, so give them a tumble. Really cute couple and really funny videos. They were nice enough to put me in one of their videos, and I'm going to shout them out. Give them a subscribe. That's Life After Kids. And the second shout out goes to OPSEC Cycling. Where are you, brother? So last we heard, you took a tumble off your bike, and that happens. That's part of mountain biking. But in life, when you fall off the horse or fall off the mountain bike, you get back on. So I hope you're getting back on. Hope you're healing up, and I hope to see some videos from you soon. All right, thanks for watching.